The Department of Justice's recent release of millions of pages of documents related to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein has now led to a wave of resignations and scrutiny over high-profile executives around the world.
This is a massive cover-up being led by the White House and the DOJ.
It's selective release. We've seen this consistently.
Model castings of all kinds.
There's something deeply up with you. Maybe you think you're the devil himself.
I don't know. Why would you say that?
Hey True Crime Besties, welcome back to an all-new episode of Serialously. Hello, welcome back to an all-new episode of Serialously with me, your host, Annie Elise. And today we've got a little bit different of an episode. You know, usually we do headline highlights on Thursdays where we talk about everything happening in true crime, case updates, things like that. But when I tell you, okay, the amount of DMs and comments and emails that I have been receiving over the past, maybe 5 weeks. When are you going to talk about Epstein files? When are you going to talk about this? When are you going to talk about that? What about Epstein? What about Epstein? And I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't had time to go through 2 or 3 million pages of files. I'm not going to act like I have. However, I know a lot of you want to know what the hell is going on with the Epstein files. So today we are doing a deep dive into the Epstein files. I have my Diet Coke right here and ready because it is going to be a long one. And Look, I don't pretend to know what I don't know, and so I'm not going to act like I'm the expert in all things Epstein and the files and the emails and the Wayfair of it all, the pizza of it all, but that's why I have somebody here to help today. Now, before we get into the episode, I do want to give a warning. The material we are covering today is especially dark. It's a bit graphic, and it is not an easy episode to listen to. I also want to mention, for those of you watching this on YouTube, you may want to, even if you're a video watcher, you may want to pop over and listen to the podcast version instead, because the podcast version will be completely uncensored. Whereas, you know, in order to get it up on YouTube, we have to pull out and mute and censor a lot. So you may want to go pop over to the podcast to listen to that. And as a reminder, everything included in today's episode is alleged. There has been no prosecution for any of these crimes or for any of these accusations. Do your own research, form your own opinions. And you guys might be familiar with her, maybe on Instagram, TikTok, podcasting. I've had her here as a special guest before, but joining me today is somebody who has been covering everything relating to Epstein, the dirty things that have, gone on, the allegations. She has been working directly with Congress as well on the Epstein files. She is a forensic psychologist, knows everything there is to know about this. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Leslie Dobson. Hi.
Thanks.
Thanks for being here.
I'm excited to have the space to talk about it.
Well, I know you've been all over Instagram, which you guys have to go check out her Instagram if you haven't already, because you are posting so much on there and exposing so much. And it's great hearing it from your point of view. I mean, you've been in this industry. You've worked with the worst of the worst. You are partnering with Congress. You have the files. Your take is so incredibly important. So I appreciate you being here.